Create volume on wavy and looser textures using this great finger coiling technique. My name is Jania Church and I'm with Schwarzkopf Professional. I'm an artistic team member and I can show you how. So a lot of times our clients come in and we bring them back from the shampoo bowl and they have this amazing texture and we're like, why don't you wear your texture? But oftentimes it's because they are unsure how to style their hair to achieve the ideal look for them. So we're gonna take our client back. We're gonna begin by prepping her hair first, and then we're gonna go back, shampoo her, and give her a creative technique to use to enhance her volume and her curls. So I'm going to use, to prep her hair, to detangle it, I'm gonna use our BLONDME leave-in spray conditioner. I love this spray conditioner because it does moisturize the hair. It helps to add balm protection to the hair, as well as knowing that BLONDME products are not just for blondes. So I do love utilizing these products for my textured clients, especially because textured hair does have some of the same needs as blondes. So when you think about it, a lot of times they're gonna be more fragile, as often they're also gonna be lacking moisture. So I think our BLONDME products are working perfect for this. So we're gonna start by spraying the hair all over. And then we're gonna divide it into subsections, starting at the bottom, working our way to the top. I'd like to take a systematic approach to this just because I'm also demonstrating to my clients how they need to do this at home. It's really important to make sure that they understand how and why we're doing what we do. I am gonna go in with a brush that has wider bristles, but also has no balls on the ends. This is important for me because a lot of times when the brushes have balls on the ends, sometimes they're in various sizes from small to large, it puts extra tension on the hair and it can cause more damage to the hair if not done properly. So it's very important for me to have brushes that will not have those little balls on the ends. So we're gonna spray the hair and you can see we're starting at the bottom and we're gonna work up. I am putting tension right here at the mid shaft. So as I'm detangling the hair, we're not putting any extra stress or tension at the scalp of our client, so it's gonna add more comfort as I'm working through the hair. So if I'm working with someone with straighter hair, I am going to go in and make sure I can detangle it. However, I may not have to go in as small of subsections as I'm working, but I am gonna just lightly mist the hair with a product that is gonna give me more slip and moisture as I'm detangling. And working from bottom up really helps to maintain removing the tangles at the bottom as you go up to the top. It's just gonna help with ease of detangling. And when you have clients that are concerned about volume, a lot of things that you need to take into consideration, not just the styling technique, but also the cutting technique that was used as well to create a great foundation. The texture and the styling is just gonna help aid in that. So that you wanna start with a great foundation and then go in with more of a styling technique that's gonna support that shape. Now you can see we've detangled one side and just it allows us to be able to analyze the hair better too. When we talk about hair cutting and creating a foundation, we can see where the hair may need more support. And then from there, we're gonna make our determination as far as haircut. But it also has helped us in alleviating any tangles that we may face when we take her to the shampoo bowl. So let's go to the other side. So now we're all finished detangling our client and now we're gonna take her back to the shampoo bowl. So we're back from the shampoo bowl and now we're ready to begin our styling technique to enhance our client's curls and add more volume with the finger coiling technique. What we did at the shampoo bowl, we did use BLONDME All Blondes Rich Shampoo and Conditioner and Mask. And the reason why I chose this particular product, when I'm working with my textured hair clients, I do find that blondes and textured hair have a lot of the same needs as far as the hair is more fragile and it is gonna need more nourishment and more moisture. So I do find that I'm able to achieve those looks with the BLONDME supporting as the base and foundation for this technique. With curly hair textures as well as finer hair, sometimes even just from moving from the shampoo bowl to the chair, you can find that the hair begins to dry just a little bit. So sometimes I may go in with either water to just freshen the hair, or I would go back in with a support product such as a product like the leave-in spray conditioner by BLONDME. Either one is fine. You just want to consider which products you're going to be using, and if any of the moisture that's in the product from the BLONDME leave-in spray conditioner, if it's going to add support or if it's going to take away from the whole factor that you're looking to achieve. To achieve our volume, we're going to use Curl Jam. Curl Jam is great because it does have a hold factor of 1, and you can identify the hold factor by each of our curl products with our OSiS line. OSiS is great because it gives you so many limitless possibilities to create any style that you choose to create by cocktailing or using the products alone. This particular product we are going to use alone. We're going to use the Curl Jam because we do want it to create a nice hold that's going to be firm enough to support the volume that we're wanting to create and cast, but then we can also go in and easily break that apart. Now we're going to begin applying the product. What you may notice is that I am not putting any product all over the hair because I do find that it's easier for me to subsection when the hair is free of product as I'm working through. Sometimes with curly hair, especially when it's finer, it does begin to dry. So I find that if you put product on all over before I begin, it may begin to dry and then we're gonna have to break through that product hold. So we are using ample amount of product. The key thing here is making sure that your hands are saturated with product because your hands are now acting as distributor for this product to really work through this section. So as I'm working through the subsection, I am dispersing this product throughout the subsection, and then I am going to begin to create the finger coiling. Finger coiling is a technique that I use to achieve volume just because it brings more memory back to the hair. And when I say memory, because it's the same thing as if you were to set the hair with rollers. Okay, I'm using my finger as the base to create the curl. So I'm keeping my finger close to the scalp and I'm wrapping around my finger. As I'm wrapping, you see I'm smoothing the hair out. And this is gonna help to alleviate just unruly hair that goes in a different direction. And I'm gonna work all the way through to the end. If the hair is really long, sometimes I will move my finger and I will go down and I will continue the same technique down the strand of the hair. Just ensuring that this is a nice, smooth curl rotation, and that helps to eliminate any frizz or unruly hair. So now we're just gonna make sure that that is really set, and then we're gonna drop it. You can see here, because that finger has been kept at the base, how the hair is coming 90 degrees off the scalp, creating more lift at the base. So if you just look at this particular section compared to the section that we have not finger coiled yet, you can see how much flatter this section is compared to that one. So now we're gonna go in, we're gonna begin taking our next section, and now identifying how big or small these sections need to be. Once you get this technique down pat and you ensure that you have enough product distribution, as well as making sure that identifying the curl pattern that you're working with. If you're working with a tighter curl pattern and you're wanting to get more volume and lift, of course you can take larger sections, which is gonna then loosen up the curl but still give you curl volume. If you're working with hair that is a little more straight or wavier, then you want to definitely go with a little bit smaller sections to ensure that you're gonna get more volume, maximum volume. So as I'm working with the direction of the hair that I'm curling it doesn't matter if you go towards the face or away from the face. The key thing for me is to ensure that they're going in the same direction so that when we break it apart, then we have a good balance in the hair, the way that the hair is laying. Can you go in opposite directions? You sure can. However, for me, I find it's very easy to go in and separate when they're going in the same direction. So we're gonna coil, and we're gonna use my finger is at a vertical direction. And as you can see, as I get to the bottom of my finger, I'm usually starting right here at this first knuckle. And the reason I started this first knuckle because it's easier to remove and my finger as I'm working down, but also it keeps the finger tight to the head so I get that extra lift. As you work down with longer strands, then you're gonna have to remove that finger and work down that strand. This is taking the place of a roller or a set or a flexi rod by utilizing your finger. So you wanna make sure that you're going in at a section and panels that you can keep that same consistency. And I am working slower, guys, so you can really see the technique. And then we are gonna do some at salon speed, so that way you can see how quick and easy this can be in the salon setting. So we're gonna repeat the same process all the way up, and then we'll come back when we get to that front section so we can explain more of, if your client parts in a certain side, one side more than the other, we can tell you and explain to you what's gonna be the best techniques for that. So we'll just keep working along. So we're midway through, and you can start to see how much volume is coming off and lift is coming up off the scalp with this technique. You can definitely see the finger coils, and I will point out how some of the ends of the hair are just kind of going in their own natural state, and that tends to happen sometimes. If it is a really big piece, you may want to go in and just re-wet it just to kind of really go in. You can see it here how it's just starting to act a little unruly. Curls have a mind of their own, so that's definitely going to be the case, but you would just go in at that bottom and just re-wrap it around your finger so it sets better for you. Okay, so we're going to keep going and work all the way back up to the crown area, and then once we get to the front, we'll come back and check in. So now we've worked up and we've gotten to our crown area. It's very important when you're analyzing the crown to determine how big or small your sections need to be based on the hair. So a lot of times with curly hair clients in that crown area, they tend to get a little more of a looser wave, especially for wavier clients. It usually is almost straight in some areas. So you want to make sure that you do work in a smaller section when you're doing that, or your subsections, just to ensure that you're able to get a little bit more lift and volume in that area. And you can see here that I've switched to my middle finger. You can use your index finger or your middle finger. Sometimes it helps when you're using that middle finger. It just helps to create a little more separation as you're working, but either finger is totally fine. So now we're 3/4 of the way done, and we have, you can see the transition as we started in the back nape area, working to the crown area, and how we got into the crown area and went smaller with our subsections so that the weight builds upon each other and it creates more volume in that crown. Now we're gonna go to the front so that we can talk about how to achieve maximum volume in the front area and the fringe area. We'll still take our section down. We're still gonna do subsections, but we're gonna work them towards the face. We can definitely take a little bit larger in that front fringe area, and as we work to the crown, again, if we need additional volume and height here, then the subsections are gonna be much smaller. So we're gonna still take our horizontal subsections, and we are still gonna go vertical because the hair is gonna be falling downward, so we do want to still allow those curls to fall in a vertical pattern. And you can see, as we mentioned earlier, how important it is, the fact that we didn't put product all over because of all the subsectioning that we're doing. This helps for ease of detangling and sectioning by not applying the product all over from the beginning. And so there may be times that as you're finger coiling, some of the ends may not finish as smooth as you would like them to finish. Just pick that section back up and you can just go right back in, just making sure to really be more aware as you're finger coiling that the hair is nice and flat and taut to the hair, and everything is nice and smooth. As you work down to longer lengths, say you run out of length on your finger, you can remove your finger, keeping everything nice and tight to the scalp, and then we're gonna go down to the ends, just to finish those ends off. As we take our subsections, remember we're applying product. Sometimes when we go to the next subsection, there's no need to apply extra product because we actually use our hands as a reservoir for the product, and I still have remaining product on my hands. So to avoid burdening the hair with so much product, I will take the remaining product and work through the palms and really work that product in. So this section, I didn't have to reapply product. So we've prepped our model and she's already done. We did our finger coiling technique for maximum volume, and we used Curl Jam. Curl Jam has a hold factor of 1, but we have multiple curl products that can be used with the same technique. Depending on the hold factor that you want is going to dictate how firm of a cast you're gonna create. We also have Tipsy Twirl that's gonna be a hold factor of 2, And this product is gonna be something that you use for more denser textures, coarser textures, and if you want a little bit more of a firmer hold. Finally, we have Balm, and this is gonna have no hold factor. It's basically gonna give you a soft, natural finish with a natural shine. It's a great curl cream that can also be cocktailed with either two of these products to reduce the amount of hold factor that you have. I love the fact that you can cocktail and intermix these products without having an adverse effect or without there being like a white cast to the hair. So that's what you can use depending on the hold factor and the level of texture or density that you have. So don't fear, just because it does say a hold factor of 2, there's a lot of different ways that you can apply the product that can also dilute it or again mix it with something like a Balm. So we're gonna now begin our diffusing process. What I generally like to do when I diffuse is I will go just quickly over the entire head with the diffuser, not really super close, but just like an outside layer of casting before I go into flipping the hair or going in different directions. A lot of times the main key for me is to get the hair off the scalp for maximum volume. So you think about, when you think about hair cutting, the most full effect when you're layering is definitely gonna be like a 90-degree haircut. So we think about that as you're diffusing. To get the hair at least 90 degrees off the scalp is gonna create maximum fullness. For me, I actually like to use high heat and high airflow because the diffuser is already softening the amount of air pressure that is coming out. So for me, I don't mind if it's on high heat and high airflow because I am keeping it away from the scalp and away from the hair. So it's not gonna damage, number one, my cast, and it's not gonna damage her hair. So what I'm doing here is I wanna make sure that I'm lifting at the roots. As I'm going in with my diffuser, I'm going directly in and allowing the curls to just drop in the same shape or set that I had with the finger coiling. However, I just want to make sure that I'm lifting at the scalp so that the airflow penetrates through and I'm able to dry it so it's lifted off the scalp. So we're just going to really work that all the way around. And you see here, as I was referring to, how the hair is coming 90 degrees off the head. So every direction from both sides, the back, and then forward, I need all the hair to come 90 degrees off the head. So now that we've gotten her hair really dry, the cast has been set. It's pretty set now to where I can go in and manipulate the hair just a little bit more without the fear of it causing frizz. However, one of the things that I like to do is then remove my diffuser and just let a little air flow throughout the scalp just to make sure that if I'm feeling it, I still feel cool areas, that I need to make sure that those areas are more dry. So I am gonna remove the diffuser and then I'm just gonna go in with a lower airflow. Just to gently go around the hair, still controlled, just making sure that if there's any areas that are still a little cool or wet, that I'm gonna dry those roots. So now we have diffused her hair. You can definitely see much more volume created here, and you can see that there's a nice cast to the hair. It definitely feels firm to the touch. However, we're gonna go in and we're gonna begin to break it up. So what we're gonna use is our Fibre Clinix Bonding Light Oil. I love this product because it's very light, so no matter what the texture, it's not gonna weigh the hair down. But it's a great product that I can use to really start, to separate the hair, add shine, but it doesn't. And it also breaks up the hold just a little bit. So if you have a product that does have like a strong cast, you don't have to worry about this product. It can definitely be mixed well with any of the OSiS products. So what I'm doing is I'm taking each curl and I'm breaking them apart. I'm taking them and sectioning them out and actually curling them in the direction that they go. So as I'm doing that, I'm just loosening those curls up. And what this is gonna do, so this technique, the purpose of this technique is to create volume. And you can see how at the base that we have a lot more volume at the roots, and then we also have volume on the sides. So this is perfect for those wavy clients that tend to go straight and need a little bit more curl encouragement. this is going to be ideal for them. So the curls will tend to want to clump back together, but what you want to do is just make sure that you keep separating them and follow all the way to the end. So you can see this piece of hair here. Just want to make sure you follow all the way to the ends on each section. And if you need to reapply more oil as you separate, again, it's very light, so it's not going to weigh the hair down and make it heavy. So guys, as you can see, this is a great end result. Looking to add more volume to your wavy, looser textures. I would love for you to like and comment and let me know what you think about this technique. I would love for you to tag us if it's anything that you do when you start to apply this technique. Stay tuned for more creative videos and techniques, and subscribe.
Thank you.